Canterbury. After 600 years, I scarcely recognize the place. The great church is much the same. A few more frills and fancies, but... My word, times have changed. My name, by the way, is Chaucer. Geoffrey Chaucer. I am I was the author of a small work, the Canterbury Tales. They still sell it, I see, after all these years. Not at any profit to the author, I may say. Still, no matter. My story was one of pilgrims. You would call them tourists nowadays, and a very strange lot they seem to be. Still, I dare say, under their rather peculiar clothes, they're much the same as my companions. Indeed, you might find my pilgrims a rather strange lot. Pilgrims on their way to Canterbury to see the sights. Just like your tourists. They're going to visit the shrines of the saints, which was a very religious duty in my day. They weren't all respectable people. Indeed, I heard a story or two on the journey that I would be ashamed to repeat. But they were mostly good folk. The rich ride fine ponies at a canter, cantering to Canterbury. The poor and the sick make their journey on foot, hoping for a miracle cure at the shrine of Canterbury's greatest saint. Now there's a tale for you, the Canterbury tale. Before my young pilgrims reach the city, I shall tell them that story, a tale of turbulent times and bloody murder. The tale of Thomas Becket, Saint of Canterbury. Pilgrims, pilgrims, time for a tale from Geoffrey Chaucer. Cast your mind back through time to the year of our Lord 1155, when Henry II was King of England. Now, the common folk said that Henry was descended from a demon, for his moods were both violent and changeable. The king was a man of vigor, young and powerful. This restless king found friendship with a man of common birth, Thomas Becket of London. Becket was a scholar trained by the church, but Becket was also a worldly man. Compound in your mind great learning, skill at arms, and the courage of a soldier. Add to the mix a native cunning, and season the whole brew with pure ambition, and there stands Becket. This was no saintly man, but a man of guile and shrewdness. The king saw in Thomas all the qualities he needed in a counsellor. And soon as England struggled in Europe for power and influence, the king's hand was guided by a new chancellor, Thomas Becket. And as England prospered, so did her chancellor. All was set fair for Henry of England, and with his loyal and learned Thomas by his side, there was no end to his success. And yet, even kings must bow the knee to that which is beyond the power of kingship. And the church, the Holy Mother Church, did not conform to Henry's will. How to hold the church in the hollow of his hand, that was Henry's problem. Who should lead it in England? Who would give his allegiance to the king? before the church. Who but the ambitious cleric Thomas Becket?
Thomas, my dear friend, it gives me great pain to part from you, but there is work away from court.
The king's work is my pleasure, my lord. I would travel to the ends of your kingdom out of duty and friendship.
My meaning is not clear, Thomas. You are a churchman and you are a statesman. You are also my friend. Your work is in Canterbury.
My lord!
It is my wish that you become archbishop.
My lord, I honour and love my king. I also serve my God. These are troubled times. The kingdom is divided. Can I keep faith with king and church? My lord, can friendship survive divided loyalty?
Becket had given warning, but the king did not heed it. And when Becket was enthroned as archbishop, he immediately resigned his high office of chancellor. In an instant, the king had lost an advisor and gained a powerful adversary, for Becket now placed his church before his king. There was a transformation in his life. Pleasures were put aside. Thomas became a man of God in every fibre of his being. He owed allegiance first to God, then to the church, and lastly to the king. And as archbishop, he wielded the church's power with all his old skill. Valuable church lands were snatched back from the king's men, and opponents were excommunicated and denied the rights of the church.
May they be cursed by Jesus Christ. May the memory of those who sowed discord between me and my Lord and King be blotted out of the memory of the saints.
The king had lost a friend, and now in the affairs of state, the bishop became a real threat to the king. There was a long and bitter quarrel. Becket was in exile for 6 long years. There were attempts at reconciliation, but there is no quarrel so bitter as a quarrel between friends. And each was a strong-willed man, convinced that justice was on his side. And remember, the king was descended from a demon. He was a man of rages.
This bishop presumes too much. This is treason. He is a traitor to his king, to his country, and worse, his friend. Damn Thomas Becket. Damn him to hell. I wish he was dead.
Rash words, hasty words. In calmer moments, the king would think more clearly. But the knights had heard a death sentence for Thomas Becket. Now the bishop is in great danger from the knights. They came to Saltwood Castle in Kent with great secrecy and plotted their dreadful business. Then on to Canterbury.
We shall not turn God's church into a fortress. I am not afraid of them. I shall wait to see what is God's will.
Your Grace! Flee for your life! Your Grace, let us hide in the church.
Brother, do not be afraid.
Becket, in his moment of greatest danger, was calm. He placed his faith in God and confident in that faith, waited to meet his fate.
Where is the traitor?
Where is the Archbishop?
Here I am, no traitor, but a priest of God.
So died Thomas Becket, Archbishop of Canterbury, brutally murdered in his own church 4 days after Christmas, 1170.
The king, his one-time friend, had unwittingly caused his death, and he bore a terrible burden of guilt to the end of his life. Thomas was not always a good man, nor yet a wise one, but he died to defend the church he loved. He died a savage death in defense of his principles. And that, my young pilgrims, is why we go to Canterbury, to honor the memory of the holy, blissful martyr Thomas Becket. So, enough of storytelling. Off on your pilgrimage to Canterbury. Four years after Becket's death, King Henry II made his own pilgrimage to Canterbury. Walking barefoot through the streets of the city, dressed only in a rough shirt, the proud king humbled himself before his people and paid homage at the tomb of his friend. Countless thousands have since followed in his footsteps, and thousands more will make the journey in the future. Those who visit the cathedral on December the 29th, the anniversary of the martyrdom, will hear the Archbishop of Canterbury take vespers on the very spot where Thomas met his death.